How to get started in real estate investing. In this video, I'm going to teach you just that. How do you get started? How do you do it with little to no money? And I'm going to share with you at the end of the video, yeah, I need you to watch the whole thing, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to go get some funding. It's right in front of you. It's so obvious, and no one's telling you the secret. All right, let's start. So I'm going to talk about 4 specific things. How do you get started in real estate for $500-ish? And actually, I know one place you can do less than that. So number 2, I'm going to talk about how do you just get started with really your own money. It's not even going to cost you anything. Number 3, I'm going to talk about how do you go get an SBA? How do you get an EIDL? How do you just get some loans? And then number 4, OPM, which I'm going to add a few OPI and OPC in there. All right, so we have 4 different kinds of financing and how do you get started. So number 1 is a REIT. Right? And if any of you have been really paying attention on my channel, I'm an alternative investor, right? The stock market's an interesting place. It's an emotional arbitrage, just like a lot of the digital currencies are. They're emotional arbitrages. What's really the value proposition behind it? Regardless of that, I'm going to teach you, and I'm a huge advocate of buy your own real estate, just like buy your own gas and oil well. But for those of you who want to be in the market and you don't have a lot, you could put $500 into a REIT, which is a real estate investment trust. You could also do a little less than that into a lot of Reg A offerings. So you say, what's a Reg A? It's like equity crowdfunding. And there are companies who will take as little as $50, $100, $250. Now, being on the other side of that, in the investor putting those projects together, I walked down that path for quite a while. And as a manager of a project, that's a lot of investors with a lot of little bits of money when you need, say, $500,000 to $1 million. So if you're thinking about it from the, I want to put a project together and put a Regulation A together, it's going to cost you $50,000 to $100,000 to set it up. Yes, you can get a whole bunch of, what I call low dollar amount investors. And on the other side, the investor relations is a lot of work. But you could all start that way, right? Then you could at least say you're in some projects. Not a fan, but I had to share that. So number 2, how do you just do it by yourself? Right? There are so many funding sources available, and a lot of you are going to see it and you're going to say, Laurel's asked me to go into credit card debt. And by the way, on my YouTube channel, I have a lot of videos just specifically about investment cards and how do you get and improve not only your credit, but then corporate credit. So I have over 28 banks that we work with, and they can get you 0% financing for up to 21 months. So there's a small fee to get into it, as long as you use that money properly, which real estate is my favorite way to use it, because you can get up to, we have got clients got 100, 150, just recently $172,000. Don't tell me you can't crush it with that kind of money. So you take the money and you actually do your down payments. You can pay your subs, you can buy materials. All of that can work very strategically laid out. Some people front-facingly will look at it and just say, oh my gosh, it's credit card debt and it's going to be all these extra loans and I can't go into debt. You're not going into debt. So remember, debt's just the cost of money. And a lot of you are using and understanding debt from the old Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey perspective, which is wrong, right? Remember, they're the simple, safe people. I wouldn't even say they're safe. They're just simple people. We're the millionaire maker. So if you want to live corporate life and become a millionaire, this is what you do. These aren't suggestions, by the way. So I actually want to comment on that. For those of you who've been following Susie or you've been following Dave Ramsey, I hear that a lot. They want you to stay, I say, simple and broke, quite honestly. Comment on it. Like, have you been in their work? Have you noticed, they may live that way, but they're not teaching you. I'm teaching you down to the nitty gritty and to connect the dots. So let's comment. Right? How many of you have been following Susie? How many have been following Ramsey? Is it working for you? Let's start a little commentary and see where we go with this. All right. So back to how to get some capital. So let's go to the next one, which is how do you just go get some traditional financing? The rates are great. SBA is giving money out like water. EIDL loans are available. There are so many places you can just go get some traditional financing. And believe it or not, there are some hard money lenders who, they're doing as low as 8. I got to tell you, and I almost hated to have to say that out loud because I am one and I'm still really stuck on getting 12%. I don't want any less than that on my money. But there are people who are older who then take their IRAs and they'll drop into, I'll take 8%. So you can get a lot of that kind of money out there. And then let's go to the big one, which is OPM, which is how I became a millionaire. So as I go to the last one, right, OPM, it's how I became a millionaire. And it's how I've taught a lot of people. Then I have to tell you, a lot of you say, well, how did did you just go get OPM? Well, I want to give you a little backstory. So from 1996 to 2000, for those of you who know my story, I was in the Rich Dad Poor Dad camp. I was the master distributor of the cash flow game. So I did very early on, went to a bank and I said, I need money. And they laughed at me, because I was just, left a big Chevron job and was following some Japanese guy in a game around. Nobody knew who Robert was. And thank God Robert became Robert. But back to my story, I went into a bank literally and said, I'm going to be a millionaire. And they laughed. And I said, no, seriously, I'm a master distributor of this game and I need $500,000 to buy inventory. You can collateralize against the inventory. You can have the inventory if I screw this up. But I need to build a database. I need people to order the games from me, and then I'll ship them out so I have their name, phone number, email, and address. And there's a big point to that. I have a Millionaire Maker game. All of you could be a distributor of my game. Why is that so pivotal? Because it's sort of in the real estate category, but it's just a way for people to come together and gather together to play a game. Financial literacy. Let's fast forward. 1996 to 2000, I did that religiously, like just with such discipline and consistency that I had 18,000 people in a database. So in 1999, when I said, oh my gosh, I gotta go, called people, 20 years my senior, paid him a lot of money to be mentored, and in 6 months became a millionaire. What did we do? We tapped my database. And they said, have you ever asked your database for money? I said, well, for like game money and some coaching money and book money. And I said, what are you talking about? Like, I literally had no idea. They said, oh, we're going to go raise money. So with their lawyers and their team, they taught me how to do OPM and how to go back to those 18,000 who I had, a huge amount of know, like, and trust rapport with. I said, I'm doing this project. I'm doing it in Oklahoma City. How many of you want to fly in, see what we're doing? And we raised $16 million fairly quickly out of a database. So you can go around to different banks and look for it. You can go to different retirement groups and look for it. You can go to RIAs, right, which are real estate investment associations. You can go to that good old Yahoo. Yahoo's got over 1,600 real estate groups. Money's everywhere. But if you look at the subsets of money, there's two places I think very few people ever tell you, which is IRA money. There's $1 trillion sitting on the sideline. You just have to know enough, and our team will guide you as a client. How do you help other people self-direct their money and use self-directed money as your OPM? That money actually is the 8%, 9%, and 10% money. You won't have to pay as much for it. So once you do some combination of, other people's money, which is IRA money, and you have credit, now you got a golden ticket. So how do you create the cash flow? How can you go to $5,000 to $10,000 a month? And you got to get there quick. And the way that I always did real estate, and I coach all my clients to do real estate, is you own it all. You own it all, and you have to get to monthly sustainable cash flow. Doing a real estate business and being a real estate investor are really two different things. So when you think about the business of real estate, you've got to organize it that you can get that $10,000 a month. You can get that $5,000 a month. So where does it come from? The obvious answer is rents. Right, which is why I love apartments, why I love short-term rentals, Airbnbs. I love RV parks. You can, keep the movement of the cash flow, but don't leave behind the actual front side of the distribution. So if you're using a lot of materials, like in every company that I'm associated with, there's a distribution arm where you're actually the manufacturer's rep of the very product you're going to use. So in Boise, Tim and I are the manufacturer distributor of ICF block, a very specific kind. So then that company buys the block and the building company then buys from there. So we arbitrage, right? We make the margin in between. So that's what we do on the front side, right? Justin does that in flooring. I mean, we have from flooring to stoves to helix to rebar. You can be that rep. So on the front side, you can conserve costs but increase your cash flow. And then on the back side, be the cleaning company, be the staging company, be the management company. Take all that cash flow on the other side. If you really want to supercharge some cash flow in the real estate, right, strategy, do a version of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Go figure out their revenue model. Moving people's stuff, buying a house that's full of stuff. Do not be the whining, complaining buyer that says, oh, I need all this stuff moved out. No, you're going to hire your company that's going to come move the stuff. And most of those revenue models happen per pound. It's enormous revenue. So a lot of you are just doing the thing called real estate and you're missing all the businesses around it. That's when you become a multi-millionaire. So there's a little $1 trillion tip I wanted to add in there. But let's go to one more piece, which is OPC. Is if you don't have good credit and as you repair it, right? For some of you who hit the BK button, right? When you went in bankruptcy or you hit a foreclosure, you got a 7-year term that you have to wait out. That doesn't mean you have to stay on the sidelines. That means you need to find a partner and you need to give them some portion of equity and manage their credit pristinely to do the refi to get some really low rate and traditional financing. But you can use other people's credit. So instead of always looking for OPM, look for people who have 780, 800, 840 credit scores. They can be just as a valuable asset. So a lot of ways to start. You do have to come up with your funding sources. I personally, between all of them, if I would have known about the investment cards and they would have been available to me, I would have used them way more than I ever did. Way in the beginning. So again, this video is on how to start real estate. I'd use that one a lot. So what I want to do is I want to hand you my blueprint. I became a millionaire in real estate. I did mine in 6 months. I had a little urgency. I was pregnant and going to have a son. That takes about 9 months to happen. So I went for it. I was intense. I did everything those mentors said. They said, jump on a plane. I jumped on a plane. I did not question. I moved and I moved. I raised the capital. I did the deals. I did the things. And a lot of you just can't question if you want to move. 12, 18, 24-month millionaires, I'm promising you, you can make it. You have to have a mentor. You got to have a system. So click on the link in the description. It's called the Millionaire Maker Blueprint. And go watch the video. Talk to my team one-on-one. See if you're really ready to jump and become a millionaire with me soon. Now, as we go into the last but most critical, how do you do due diligence? In my Millionaire Maker book, Wealth Cycle Investing, I have a very specific form on how to do due diligence, but I have 7 questions, right? So let's talk through those 7 questions on due diligence, right? So I'm actually going to read them to you so I don't miss one of them. So is your investment congruent with your money rules? You say, well, I don't even have money rules. Well, then we have to back up and start there. By the way, another chapter in the book of the Wealth Cycle Investing book is money rules. And by the way, if you head out over to Amazon and grab that book, you get right back over here. Give me a review. I'll give you lots of bonuses for giving a review. What's interesting about that book is actually my favorite because it's the alternative investing book. It's actually the least read. So make that a priority and read that book. Make it like a encyclopedia you come back to. There's a lot you need to learn about investing out there. So do you have a congruency with your money rules? Right? And then make some money rules. Do you have an exit strategy? What's the end game? Right? Do you got to cash out of it all? Is it okay that if you're going to do that, it's easy to have partners. If you're not going to cash out and you want to actually hold for generational wealth, that's a different strategy. You still have to handle the money. There has to be a refinance process inside of there at some point. Now, number 3 is big money investing. What is big money to you? Some of you writing a $10,000 check is going to take your breath away. Some of you writing a $100,000 check is like normal. And some of you writing $1 million check is normal. So what does that mean to you? And then you have to know also in relation to your project, how you're approaching people. If you came to me and said, I have a big money investment and it's $100,000, I'd be like, that's like a beginner game. That's just starting the game. And that's not to be, disrespectful or condescending. You just have to know these rules and you got to know how to do due diligence. Who is the oversight in the public information? Meaning, is your accounting wide open and transparent? Are the economics of the offer sound? And will the business plan and the marketing plan make it? And then you have to look to number 7, which is the number 1 piece of due diligence, is the team. Can the team pull this off? So it's so interesting to me when I have beginners come, and I have a lot of beginners come and say, hey, look at my deal. And I'll say, first you get mentored, then we'll evaluate and restructure the deal, because most of them have to be restructured because they're looking from a front-facing beginner versus looking at a team. I can promise you, guarantee you, do this with the team, you're going to go faster, way less risk, and you're going to blend your return. So in the description below, I have my Millionaire Maker Blueprint. It's phenomenal. It's how I became a millionaire. I'm going to talk through a variety of strategies. I'm going to talk about how to get to that $10,000 a month in cash flow or more. How do you do the refi? How do you do the money? How do you do the team? How do you do it all? So click on the link below and come back anytime. Make some comments so we can be in an interaction. Let me help you become a millionaire in real estate.